There is a myth about language learning that has caused more damage than almost any other idea in education. And the myth is children are better language learners than adults. That there is a window, some kind of critical period, and if you missed it, you're always going to struggle, and that the adult brain is simply not built for this. Well, it's wrong. Or at least it's not the whole story. Children and adults do learn languages differently. But different doesn't mean worse. It means that you need a different approach. And once you understand what that approach is, everything changes. Now, let me explain what this actually means. A child acquires language unconsciously. They don't study it. They don't memorize the rules. They are simply immersed, surrounded by the language at every moment, in every context, with no alternative. The language comes in, the brain processes it, and patterns emerge. And first slowly, and then suddenly, the child speaks. This process works beautifully, but it requires something most adults simply don't have. Years of total immersion with nothing else competing for attention. An adult learning Croatian is in a completely different situation. You have maybe an hour a day. You have a first language that is deeply established and constantly active. You have a fully developed cognitive system that wants to analyze, categorize, and understand, not just absorb. And here is what most language courses do with that adult brain. They feed it grammar tables, rules, exceptions to rules, paradigms to memorize, cases to drill. So this approach treats the adult brain as a deficient child brain, as if the solution to not being a child is to study harder. It isn't. The solution is to use what the adult brain actually does well. In 1980s, a linguist called Stephen Krashen proposed something that was controversial then and is still debated now, but that has been supported by decades of research since. His central idea was this: we acquire language in only one way, through comprehensible input, through hearing and reading language that we understand or almost understand in large quantities over time, not through memorizing rules, not through drilling paradigms, through meaningful, comprehensible exposure to the language in use. Krashen's distinction between acquisition and learning is crucial here. Acquisition is unconscious. It happens when you understand a message, when something clicks in context. Learning is conscious. It is knowing that the genitive singular of žena is žene. Now, learning is useful, but it cannot become fluency on its own. Fluency comes from acquisition, and acquisition comes from input. So what does this mean practically for you if you're learning Croatian as an adult? It means that the hours you spend memorizing case endings are less valuable than the hours you spend hearing Croatian used in context at a level that you can mostly understand. It means that the Croatian podcast that you follow, or a show that you watch with subtitles, a conversation that you have, even imperfectly, that all these are building something that a grammar table cannot build. It also means that adults have real advantages that children don't. You have a larger vocabulary in your first language to map concepts onto. You have metacognitive awareness. You can notice patterns, ask questions. You can make connections deliberately. You can use a grammar explanation as a map, and not to navigate by memorization, but to help you notice what's happening when you encounter the language in real use. The grammar table doesn't teach you Croatian, but it can help you pay attention to Croatian in a way that accelerates acquisition. And there is one more thing that adults have and children don't: motivation with meaning behind it. A child learns because they have no choice. They're learning because something brought you here. A family place that you want to belong to, a language you heard as a child and want to reclaim. Well, that motivation that adults have when it's real is extraordinarily powerful. Research consistently shows that affective factors, so how you feel about a language, your relationship to that language, your sense of identity connected to it, that they are among the strongest predictors of acquisition success in adult learners. So you're not learning Croatian despite being an adult. In some of the ways that matter most, you are learning it because of it. So what do you do with all of this? Well, you stop measuring your progress but by how many rules you can recite. You start measuring it by how much you understand. You find Croatian you can almost follow and you follow it every day, even if it's for 20 minutes. You let the language come in and you trust that the brain, the adult brain, your brain knows what to do with it. It does. It just needs the input. Vidimo se sljedeći tjedan.